Okay, you know what? Don't none of you look at them tears and think that is funny. Because it takes a big man to cry in front of his crew.
Back in the day, we used to pretend the sofa cushions was a fort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we used to pretend that the floor was molten lava. We used to play Care Bears.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, man. That was a weird-ass sneeze I just did right there. Damn it. Those some manly tears, okay? Those some manly-ass tears right there that you looking at.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. Remember this guy that cried during the January 6th hearing? He was sobbing, he was crying, wipes of tears. Do you know that he ran for Congress? Do you know that he lost last night? Today's just so packed full of good news. It's like, just amazing. I'm walking on air, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to congratulate Harry Dunn on his embarrassing defeat in the Maryland congressional primary. You can always fall back on acting. Oh, yeah, this guy definitely is an actor. Maryland State Senator Sarah Elfrich wins Maryland Democratic congressional primary. This guy will not be going to Congress. He was a member of the Capitol Police with a dubious January 6th story at best, although he had a lot of big-time cheering fans like Harry for his ads. But his ads were really something remarkable. We've actually covered them before on the channel. You'll notice something.
On this day, my role was as a Capitol Police officer. I'm Harry Dunn, and that meant putting aside who I am, a father, a Marylander, a Democrat, because I swore an oath to protect our Constitution, to protect our democracy. It's what allowed me to protect some members of Congress who I knew were bigots, who helped fan the flames that started all of this. I put country above self.
Okay, so a number of things. This starts with like a glass shattering and with trash being thrown, with people like riling through and waving like Trump flags through Congress. What's really interesting is that when you compare and contrast that with the actual footage of January 6th, you'll notice that it bears exactly zero resemblance to what actually happened on January 6th. You'll see here hours and hours and hours of footage of protesters walking peacefully through the hallways, carrying their flags, picking up litter, respecting the property. Do you think BLM would have done this if they had broken into the White House like they tried to do to murder President Trump on May the 20th, 2020, the real insurrection date? Nope. Look at how they use the metal detectors and how they politely leave when asked to go. Watch how Harry Dunn's co-workers in the Capitol Police, who are armed, open the doors for the peaceful protesters. I guess the actual definition of peaceful protesters. Even Nancy Pelosi taking her sweet time as she strolls through the halls of Congress. You can see here in this security footage. Watch Nancy Pelosi. She's so concerned about January 6th that she actually stops and allows her camera woman to get the angle. Watch. Nancy Pelosi does a stutter step here to make sure that her camera woman can hit them angles. She's so concerned. Also, maybe Harry Dunn could explain to us exactly why his colleagues in the Capitol Police cuffed a protester, presumably for doing something very naughty, and then uncuffed him and fist bumped him while clapping him on the shoulder and thanking him for his service. Who the hell is this guy? What's going on here? Don't exactly know, but it's worth noting that it bears actually zero resemblance to this buffoon's dumbass
put country
commercial.
Above self. The problem is, a lot of them didn't. Some of the same people who stood behind us when we protected them went back on the floor of Congress and stood behind Trump. They voted to acquit him. And worst of all, they denied the violence and trauma that led to the death of some of my fellow officers.
That's a literal lie. It's a legitimate lie. I mean, that's just like a flat out, straight up lie. This guy is clearly a tool of the regime. They were trying to create a little superstar out of this, and now his ass got kicked. J6 cop and liar Harry Dunn, endorsed by Nancy Pelosi, loses Maryland congressional primary. Sucks to suck. He didn't even come close, actually. Breaking, J6 officer has lost his campaign for Congress. Oh, yeah. If by helped save Congress on January 6th, you mean Harry Dunn lied about literally everything that happened to him, yet was put on a pedestal by Democrats and hack reporters. This is exactly correct. Harry Dunn is somebody who does not deserve any type of credit or any type of compliments for his work on January 6th, whatever that may be. You can see clear body cam footage of him mishandling his firearm, having panic attacks, freaking out, losing his mind, and The Blaze actually has a very interesting documentary on it. We encourage you to check it out. Here's a part of it.
Officer Harry Dunn, in his new book, Standing My Ground, a Capitol Police Officer's Fight for Accountability and Good Trouble.
Officer Dunn has been among the first Capitol Police officers to describe what happened to law enforcement on January 6th.
It is expected that when somebody does release a book that they're going to do a quote-unquote book tour, that they're going to make media appearances. The most unique and interesting thing about this book tour that he's on is that for some reason, none other of the Capitol police officers are allowed to tell their stories.
What if Donald Trump wins again? Would you
You got anything strong?
Let's make no mistake about it. There were a lot of officers injured that day. I have reviewed hundreds and hundreds of hours of video, and there was violence. I saw violence there that day with my own eyes. In the dozens of media interviews that he has participated in.
seen you on TV many times?
Has anybody ever showed a single second of video of his heroic actions that day?
We need heroes like you.
What we learned from the book, though, he goes into great detail about his own history of therapies, counseling sessions.
And I'm now receiving private counseling therapy for the persistent emotional trauma of that day.
It's almost like the people who are engaging in psychological warfare on us all the time found a soft target here with Harry Dunn and manipulated him into a useful idiot to take advantage of his hysteria and to try and like make a little everlasting memorial living in Congress as a member of Congress to January 6th. It's almost like that's what was going on here. They were trying to astroturf a new member of Congress that can stand up there and blather for the next 40 years about January 6th so that everybody remembers what's going on. Thank God that this guy lost. I mean, this is great. What would be really good, however, would be to actually hear the full story about what the law enforcement agents were doing on January 6th. As we have played many times on this program, you can see the undercover body cam footage of multiple police officers engaging in entrapment, right? So this is an undercover police officer, and this is someone who is encouraging people to climb into the Capitol to do criminal trespass. You can hear it. Help them up, help them up. Like,
push him up.
do you know that these defendants were able to get this footage and were able to, I think they were able to be acquitted based on this footage? If I'm remembering this correctly, because this is like the definition of entrapment. Well, did you know this? Yeah. You're not allowed to actually, as an undercover officer, create the conditions of criminality and encourage people to behave criminally. One of our favorite members of Congress, Clay Higgins, sat down with Laura Logan in an absolute bombshell interview and said, it's not just that. I actually watched these guys go and in their police officer gear, and they got changed, and they came out of the bathrooms wearing MAGA gear.
Open yet.
What
so if
time
you have
was
video, this was a couple of the videos that Trump was still speaking. And then on the inside, looked like Trump supporters walking around in groups of 5 or 6. So these were clearly separated physically and by doors and by police officers from the guys on the outside. So any reasonable man would come to the conclusion when you have videos of the doors being opened and police officers allowing Trump supporters that had gathered at the door to now enter. No violence, just walking in, just come on in, some fist bumps and come in, a second set of doors open, and then there's a group of Trump supporters on the steps, the interior steps, saying, come on, this way, this way.
What does that
Any
tell you?
reasonable man would look at that and say this was a coordinated effort by law enforcement to have these people come in. So who was that? It had to be, I think it's nefarious forces and part of the whole agenda of the FBI.
Clay Higgins is an American hero. We love having him on the program. He's the only person asking the tough questions about this. He's a law enforcement official himself, and so he would know. But, and a day filled with good news, there's another one for you. Like, share, and subscribe to get more good news. It's your boy Ben. See you.